Hello YouTube, we are back with another showcase of a little contraption that I've made in modded survival. Now, as you can see, we've got a little platform right here with some grass on top and some saplings. That is actually a tree farm. Now, I will be leaving a world download in the description, so if you do want to take a closer look at any of the actual components of this, then you can. But then I'll basically just be I won't be doing a tutorial on this one because I mean it's a little bit in depth, and it's pretty easy to explain anyways. So that's basically my reasoning. But yeah, so what we have here is some jabber barrels. So with the second upgrade, and that also have the void upgrade as well. That will basically just, if there's like too much items in them, then it will destroy the items. So that is good. So basically what we have is a tree farm. So we've got the planter, the planter's underneath here, so if we just go down below, it's right here. And also the harvester that has like a void pipe, or a void liquid pipe, or void fluid pipe, that is, on top of it, so it will basically void any of the sludge that it will get. Then the storage right here, so as you can see right there. Then we've got some water being generated by the aqueous accumulator right here. That will then feed into some steam dynamos with the machine inventory manager. And then a alloy smelter, so that will basically just smelt any wood that you have, and it will turn it into charcoal that the steam dynamos can basically generate off of. Then I think that's all the components that I've used in this. Now I'm actually not taking the wood or the whatever out of the harvester right here. I'm basically just putting it into a chest first, and then I'll be routing it accordingly. And I thought that was a really easy way to actually do it, and more efficient than actually just getting it out of the harvester itself. Because if you actually try to get out to the harvester first, then the harvester will actually has only one item stack in its inventory. Or it's in its internal inventory. Wow, having trouble with words. Wow, but that's basically why I'm having a chest right below it. So it can basically just dump everything into the chest, and it can wait for it to be sorted. So that's good. Now the way that I've actually set up the machine inventory manager is, I've basically just got a harvester as a variable, so we've got variables along there, triggers along there, inputs, and also liquid inputs, and then outputs, and then also a liquid output. And I'm just pressing control so you can actually see what each component here is. So we've got the harvester right there, planter, and then wood storage, and then sapling storage, and then furnace for wood, and that is basically the alloy smelter right there, and all the storages are all of these barrels right there. Then what we've got is dynamos right there, then water for dynamos, so that will be coming from the actual tank right there. So if I go into this and the container, it will actually highlight the water tank, and that's just basically just me creating a buffer instead of directly pumping out of the aqueous accumulator. Then what we also have is the byproduct storage as well, and that is basically just going to be for the apples. And that is the reason is because the reason that I've actually called it byproduct storage is because you can actually get if you have like other saplings that you want to actually farm in this tree farm, say like if you want to farm rubber saplings from Minefactory Reloaded, they will actually also drop rubber of broad rubber. That's all. And that's because it will basically just drop it, really. So I've basically just got that there. Now you can extend it if it's got multiple byproducts, then I mean you can just extend it even more and do whatever you like. And then you can basically just have all of the byproduct barrels as the containers right here. So that is all good, and that's basically all the components right there. Now the way that I'm actually just routing the items around and also liquid around is basically just using the machine inventory manager. So firstly what we have is the harvester to the storage, and that is basically just the way that I actually have all of these set up is if I go into the inventories and then the show variables, I've basically just selected each of the variables in the actual title of the trigger. So that's it's pretty self-explanatory, and it's really easy to understand that way as well. Now you don't actually have to use the Sieves inventory manager or the machine inventory manager with cable. I'm just using it because I mean it's pretty easy to understand how it works, and it's really good, and I really like it, so that's really cool. But let's take a look at the next one. What we have is the saplings to the planter, so saplings in here, so sapling storage, and then to the planter variable right there. Actually, I should select the planter. I'll select all the variables. I'll just go over every one that I may have missed. So in here we've got the harvester to the storage, so right there. And what we have is just selected all of the storage. So wood storage, sapling storage, and byproduct storage. Then in the next one, what we have is the wood to the furnace. So we've got the wood storage right here. So let's just go into here, and we've got the wood storage right there. And then we've got the furnace for wood right there. And that is basically the alloy smelter that we've got right here. Now I do have octadic capacitors in here, as well as in here I've got some augments that have the 10% base fuel efficiency. So that will basically just generate 10% more energy per fuel, and that is really good, as you might expect, really. Then I've got the third tier, or all tiers of the secondary transmission coil, which will basically just output, or it'll basically make it output even more energy. So the first one will do double it, then the second one will times 4 it, then the third will basically do it times 8. So that is really good. Then, I mean, basically the maximum power that it can actually output is 640 RF per tick, and that is why we've got the enhanced energy conduits, because I mean they can transmit 5,120 RF per tick, and that, I mean, that's just like a little overkill for the setup right now. But the lower, or the conduits before can only they can only handle 640 RF per tick, and that is fine for like one steam dynamo if you are having one steam dynamo. But I mean that's not fine for 3 basically. So yeah. Then, I mean, for the last little trigger right here, we've got the water to the dynamos. So again, we've got the variable selected, and this is completely optional. So if you do have, I mean, also the dynamos right there. The reason that this is optional as well is because, I mean, if you don't want to use steam dynamos for the actual energy production, then you can use whatever you like. So, I mean, there's like furnace generators from Extra Utilities. So let's just go into here and we'll find a furnace generator. As you can see, there's some there. and even more right there. So that's basically there for your if you do want to actually use them. But yeah, so that's basically the setup that I've got for the tree farm. Now this one will actually generate food as well as a steady wood source as well as saplings as well. But those three things, so energy production, wood production, and also food production, is basically all you really need early game. And that is basically the best thing about this, is it's so easy to make, and it's so survival friendly as well, resource friendly as well, that, it's just awesome. But yeah, so that's basically that. I will be leaving a world download in the description, so if you do want to check out anything more, so if you've got any questions about whatever, then you can basically just download the world and then just see it for yourself. Now I am using the Dial 20 1.7.10 pack, so if you are using anything else and questioning why it might not work, then that's probably the reason why. And that is that mod pack that I'm using is on the Feed the Beast launcher. And if you don't know about that, then just Google it. And the first one is Feed the Beast, so that's it. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy that showcase and little tutorial, I guess, on how to make your own, or your very own, tree, or basically food, wood, and energy production in modded survival. Now I have uploaded a video on this quite a while ago, but that's outdated, and the way that I actually did it wasn't very efficient. I was using actually the furnace generators for extra utilities, but the concept is still the same. But I just thought I would just notify you guys, or just keep you guys up to date on what is extremely efficient. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and peace.